everyone, let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever loved someone so much that you wanted to tell the whole world about it? Maybe it was your mom or dad, your brother or sister, or even your best friend. That feeling, that warm, happy, safe feeling inside. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if you could feel that way all the time? Today, I want to tell you a story about the most amazing love there is, the love we can have for God, and how affirming that love can light up our lives. Now let me take you back to a little village not too far from here, where the sun rose every morning and the birds sang their sweetest songs. In this village lived a young girl named Anna. Anna was just like you, curious, playful, and full of questions. She liked running through the fields, climbing trees, and listening to her grandma's stories at night. But there was something different about Anna. She always wondered about love. What is love? Where does it come from? And most importantly, how do you show it? One day, Anna's grandma sat her down and said, "Anna, do you know who loves you the most?" Anna thought about her parents, her friends, even her puppy. But her grandma smiled and said, "There is someone whose love is bigger than all of that. Someone who loves you more than you can ever imagine. That someone is God." Anna was puzzled. She couldn't see God, couldn't hug him, and couldn't hear his voice the way she heard her grandma's. So her grandma told her a story that would change the way Anna looked at the world forever. There was once a little bird who had never flown before. The bird was scared to leave the nest, afraid to fall, afraid to fail. But every day the bird's mother would sing to her, telling her, "I love you and I believe in you." One day the bird decided to trust that love. She spread her wings and flew. And as she soared through the sky, she realized that her mother's love was like the wind beneath her wings, holding her up, guiding her home. God's love is like that, said Anna's grandma. It's there even when you can't see it. It's there when you're happy and it's there when you're sad. God loves you just because you are you. Anna wanted to feel that love all the time. She asked, "But Grandma, how do I love God back?" Her grandma smiled and said, "You love God by loving others, by being kind when nobody's watching, by forgiving when it's hard, by helping someone who needs it, and by saying thank you for all the good things in your life." That night, Anna lay in bed and whispered, "I love you, God." She felt a warmth in her heart, a gentle peace that wrapped her up like her favorite blanket. She realized that loving God wasn't about grand gestures or big words. It was about the little things, sharing her lunch with a friend, saying sorry when she made a mistake, and being grateful for the sunshine and the rain. Now, why am I telling you Anna's story? Because all of us kids, grown-ups, everyone can learn from Anna. We all have days when we feel alone or scared or unsure of ourselves. But when we affirm our love for God, when we say, "I love you, God," and mean it with our hearts, something amazing happens. We start to see the world differently. We start to notice the beauty in small things, the laughter of friends, the kindness of a stranger, the way the clouds paint pictures in the sky. Have you ever noticed how a simple thank you can make someone smile? Or how helping a friend feel better can make your own heart feel lighter? That's what loving God is all about. It's not just about going to church or saying prayers, though those are important. It's about living every day with love. It's about choosing to be patient when you want to be angry, about sharing when you want to keep things to yourself, about listening when someone needs to talk, even if you're busy. Let me tell you another story. There was a boy named Sam who loved playing soccer more than anything else. One day, during a big game, a teammate tripped and fell. Everyone was so focused on winning that they didn't notice, but Sam did. He stopped running, helped his friend up, and asked if he was okay. Some kids laughed at Sam for giving up the chance to score a goal, but Sam knew that loving God meant loving people, and people always come first. After the game, Sam's coach said, "You showed real courage and love today, Sam. That's the kind of player I want on my team." When you affirm your love for God, you become a light in the world, and the world needs more light. There are people who are sad, people who are lonely, people who need someone to care. You can be that someone. You can be a hero, not with superpowers, but with super love. Because loving God gives you the strength to do the right thing, even when no one is watching. Sometimes we think loving God is too big, too hard, or too far away. But it's really very simple. It starts with a quiet "I love you" God whispered in your heart. It grows when you choose kindness over meanness, when you tell the truth even if it's hard, when you share a smile, a hug, or a helping hand. Every act of love, no matter how small, is like a pebble thrown into a pond. The ripples spread out, touching lives far beyond what we can see. And do you know what's amazing? When you love God, you start to see His love everywhere. In the colors of a rainbow, in the giggles of your friends, in the arms of your family when they hold you close. You begin to realize that you are never alone, that God's love is always with you, cheering for you, believing in you, loving you just the way you are. I want you to think about this. What is one thing you can do today to show your love for God? Maybe it's helping your mom set the table, or saying a prayer for someone who is sick, or forgiving a friend who hurt your feelings. Maybe it's taking a moment to look up at the stars tonight and say, "Thank you, God, for loving me." You see, loving God isn't just for grown-ups. Kids have the biggest hearts, the brightest smiles, and the purest love. You have a special way of seeing the world, a way that reminds all of us what it means to trust, to hope, and to love without holding back. When you love God with all your heart, you inspire everyone around you. You become a living story of hope and kindness. So, as you go out today, remember Anna and Sam. Remember that loving God is about the little choices you make every day. It's about being honest, being kind, being grateful, and believing that you matter. When you affirm your love for God, you are planting seeds of love that will grow in your heart and in the hearts of everyone around you. I want to leave you with a challenge. Tonight, before you go to sleep, take a moment to close your eyes and think about one way you showed love today. Maybe you shared your toys, maybe you said a prayer, maybe you just smiled at someone who needed it. Then whisper, "I love you, God." And as you drift off to sleep, know that God's love is holding you close, guiding you, and cheering you on for another day. Thank you for listening, and remember, the greatest adventure you can ever go on is the journey of loving God. And that adventure starts with a simple, powerful affirmation. I love you, God. Let's all say it together right now with all our hearts. I love you, God. Thank you, and may your days be filled with love, kindness, and the joy of knowing that you are loved beyond measure. Everyone, can you remember the last time you picked up a book just for fun? Not for homework or because someone told you to, but because you wanted to go on an adventure, solve a mystery, or meet a new friend. Imagine this. What if the next time you opened a book, you found a secret world that was waiting just for you? Today, I want to take you on a journey, not through a map, but through the wonderful world of reading. My hope is that by the end of our time together, you'll be inspired to pick up a book and discover the magic that lives inside every single page. Let me begin with a story. When I was about 8 years old, my grandmother gave me a book for my birthday. It wasn't fancy, no shiny cover, no pictures, just a small, worn paperback that fit perfectly in my hands. At first, I wasn't very excited. I wanted a toy or maybe a game. But then, one rainy afternoon, I opened that book. As I turned the first page, something incredible happened. I was whisked away to a faraway land, where dragons soared and heroes were just ordinary kids like me. The rain outside faded away. In my mind, I was on an epic quest, solving riddles and making friends with magical creatures. When I reached the last page, I closed the book and realized something important. Inside those pages, I had found a new world, and it was mine to explore whenever I wanted. And isn't that what reading is all about? It's a passport to adventure, a ticket to 100 places, and a chance to meet people you'd never meet in real life. But you know what's even more amazing? You don't need to travel far or spend a lot of money. All you need is a book, a little bit of curiosity, and a willingness to imagine. Now let's talk about you. Have you ever wanted to be a detective solving mysteries no one else can? Or an astronaut blasting off to distant planets? Maybe you'd like to be a chef, creating delicious dishes, or an explorer, trekking through jungles and deserts. All of these adventures and more are waiting for you inside books. Every time you open a book, you're stepping into someone else's shoes. You get to see the world through their eyes, feel what they feel, and learn what they learn. But you might be thinking, what if I'm not a great reader? What if books are hard for me? That's okay. Everyone starts somewhere. Even the best readers you know had to learn, word by word, page by page. The important thing is to start. Pick up a book that looks interesting. Maybe it's about dinosaurs, or maybe it's a comic book filled with superheroes. Maybe you like fairy tales, or maybe you want to learn about real people who changed the world. There's a book out there for everyone, and I promise, there's one that's just right for you. Let me tell you another story. There was once a little boy named Sam. Sam didn't like reading at all. He thought it was boring and too hard. One day, his teacher gave him a book about trains because Sam loved trains more than anything. At first, Sam just looked at the pictures, but then he started reading a few words. He was surprised to learn things about trains he never knew before. Slowly, he began reading more and more. Soon, Sam was reading books about all kinds of things: animals, space, even mysteries. And you know what? Sam became one of the best readers in his class. All it took was one book that grabbed his attention. Sometimes that's all it takes, just one book to spark your love for reading. Reading isn't just about stories, though. It's about learning new things. Did you know that every time you read, your brain grows stronger? It's like giving your mind a workout. You learn new words, you discover new ideas, and you start to see the world in new ways. When you read about a character who faces a challenge, you learn how to be brave. When you read about someone who tries again and again, you learn never to give up. Books can teach you important lessons, not just about the world, but about yourself. Let's try something. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the biggest library in the world. Shelves that stretch up to the ceiling filled with books of every shape and size. Each book is a door to a new place, a new adventure, a new friend. Now imagine you get to choose which door to open. Which book would you pick? Maybe it's a story about a girl who saves her village, or a boy who invents a robot. Maybe it's a book about soccer, or a book about how to make the perfect chocolate cake. The choice is yours. That's the magic of reading. You're in control of your own adventure. Some of you may think, but I'm too busy. There's homework, chores, sports, and time with friends. I get it. Life can be busy. But here's a secret. You don't need hours and hours. Even just 10 minutes a day can make a difference. You can read before bed, during lunch, or even in the car. Every page you read adds up, and soon you'll find yourself finishing books you never thought you could. Now I want to share the story of a girl named Maya. Maya loved to draw, but she didn't read much. One day, her friend gave her a book about a young artist who uses her drawings to change her school. At first, Maya only looked at the drawings, but the story was so interesting that she started reading the words too. Maya saw herself in the character. She realized that books could be about people like her, with dreams like hers. After that, Maya started reading more books about artists, inventors, and explorers. Reading helped her believe in herself. It gave her ideas for her own art, and it made her realize that she could do great things too. Books can help you find your voice. They can make you feel less alone. Maybe you felt scared or shy or different. There's a book about someone who feels the same way. Maybe you're curious about something, but you're too shy to ask. There's a book that can answer your questions. Books are friends that are always there when you need them. Let's think about some of the most famous people in the world. Did you know that many of them loved to read when they were kids? People like Malala Yousafzai, who won the Nobel Peace Prize, or Elon Musk, who helped send rockets to space. They all talk about how books inspired them and helped them dream bigger. Reading isn't just about passing a test or finishing an assignment. It's about opening your mind to what's possible. And reading doesn't have to be something you do alone. You can read with your family, your friends, or even your pets. Have you ever tried reading out loud to your dog or cat? They love it. Or you can read with your little brother or sister, helping them discover the magic of books for themselves. Reading together can be a special time, full of laughter and learning. You can talk about what's happening in the story, guess what might happen next, or even make up your own endings. Now I have a challenge for you. This week I want you to pick one book, just one. It can be any book you like. Ask your teacher, your librarian, or your parents for a recommendation. It could be about anything. Read it. And when you finish, tell someone about it. Share your favorite part. Maybe you'll inspire someone else to read too. Imagine what could happen if everyone in this room read just one new book this week. How many adventures could we go on together? How many ideas could we share? Sometimes people say reading is boring or books are old-fashioned. But I disagree. Books are full of life. They're filled with laughter, sadness, excitement, and hope. Every book is a treasure chest, and you are the adventurer who gets to open it. Don't let anyone tell you that reading isn't cool. Some of the coolest people I know are readers. They have the best stories, the wildest imaginations, and the kindest hearts. Let's not forget about the power of words. When you read more, you learn more words. And when you know more words, you can express yourself better. Have you ever been so excited about something but couldn't find the right words to explain it? Reading helps with that. It gives you the power to say what you feel, to ask for what you need, and to stand up for what you believe in. The more you read, the more powerful your voice becomes. Now I want you to think about your favorite movie or TV show. Did you know that many of them were books first? Stories like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and The Lion King all started as words on a page. The next time you watch a movie, try reading the book. You might be surprised by how much more you discover. Books let you imagine the characters and places in your own way. You get to be the director of the movie in your mind. Let's make reading an adventure, not a chore. You can make a reading list of books you want to try. Start a reading club with your friends, or challenge your family to see who can read the most books in a month. Reward yourself when you finish a book. Maybe you can draw a picture of your favorite scene, write a letter to the author, or even write your own story inspired by what you read. Before I finish, I want you to remember this. Books are for everyone. It doesn't matter if you read fast or slow, if you like long books or short ones, if you prefer funny stories or scary ones. There's no right or wrong way to be a reader. The only thing that matters is that you try. Every time you open a book, you're taking a step toward a bigger, brighter world. So kids, read your books. Read when you're happy, read when you're sad. Read when you're curious or when you're bored. Let books be your friends, your teachers, your guides. Let them show you new places, new ideas, and new dreams. The world is waiting for you inside those pages. Thank you for listening. I hope today you'll find a book that calls to you and that you'll let it take you on the greatest adventure of all. Happy reading. Everyone, thank you for being here today. Before I begin, I want you to do something for me. Close your eyes just for a moment. Picture the happiest moment you ever had. Maybe it was a birthday, a fun day at the park, or a time when you made someone smile. Hold on to that feeling, because today I want to talk to you about something that can make you and everyone around you feel that way every single day. Today, I want to share a story and talk about the amazing power of being good. Let me begin by telling you about someone very special, a 10-year-old boy named Alex. Now, Alex was not the tallest kid in his class, nor the loudest. In fact, he was a bit shy. He liked to read books, climb trees, and play with his dog, Max. But more than anything, Alex wanted to make the world a better place. You see, Alex believed in something very simple but very powerful: being good. One sunny afternoon at school, Alex was walking down the hallway when he saw a classmate, Emily, sitting alone on the bench. Her head was down and she looked sad. Most kids walked right past her, too busy with their own thoughts. But Alex stopped. He remembered a time when he had felt left out and how much it had hurt. He thought to himself, what if I could help Emily feel just a little bit better? So Alex sat down next to her and asked, "Are you okay?" Emily shook her head and said, "I lost my lunch money, and now I can't buy anything to eat." Without thinking twice, Alex reached into his pocket and pulled out his own lunch money. "Here," he said, "you can use mine. I brought a sandwich from home today anyway." Emily looked up surprised. "Are you sure?" "Absolutely," Alex replied with a big grin. "Friends help each other." That simple act of kindness made Emily's day. She smiled and thanked Alex, but the story doesn't end there. Later that week, Alex found himself struggling with a tough math problem. He was frustrated and ready to give up. Guess who came to help him? Yes, it was Emily. She remembered Alex's kindness and offered to work through the problem together. Because Alex chose to be good, he not only helped someone else, but he also made a new friend. Now let me ask you, have you ever been like Alex? Have you ever made someone's day brighter by doing something kind? Maybe you helped a friend who fell, shared your snack with someone who forgot theirs, or just smiled at someone who needed it. How did it feel? Pretty good, right? Being good is not just about being nice. It's about making choices that help others, even when it's not the easiest thing to do. Sometimes, being good means standing up for someone who is being picked on, or telling the truth even when you're scared. Sometimes, it means doing chores at home without being asked, or sharing your favorite toy with your little brother or sister. I remember a time when I was your age. There was a boy in my class named Sam. Sam was new in school and he didn't know anyone. He sat by himself during lunch and played alone during recess. One day, I saw him looking at a group of kids playing soccer. He wanted to join, but he was too shy to ask. I could have just kept playing with my friends, but something inside me told me to go over to Sam. I walked up to him and said, "Hey Sam, do you want to play with us?" His face lit up with the biggest smile I had ever seen. From that day on, Sam was never alone. He became one of our best friends. Years later, Sam told me that my simple invitation changed his whole school experience. He said, "You made me feel like I belonged." That taught me something important. Small acts of goodness can have a huge impact. You don't need superpowers to make a difference. A kind word, a smile, or a helping hand can change someone's world. But sometimes being good isn't easy. Maybe you've seen someone being mean to another kid and you felt scared to speak up. Or maybe you wanted to share, but you were worried you wouldn't have enough for yourself. It's okay to feel that way. Doing the right thing can be hard, but that's what makes it so powerful. When you choose to be good, even when it's hard, you become a hero in someone else's story. Let me tell you about another hero. Her name is Maya. Maya loved animals. One day she saw a stray puppy shivering outside her house. It was cold and hungry. Maya wanted to help, but she was afraid her parents wouldn't let her keep the puppy. Still, she couldn't ignore the little dog, so she brought it some food and water. She made a cozy spot for it in the garage and asked her parents if they could help find its owner. Together, they put up posters and asked their neighbors. In the end, the puppy's family was found, and they were so grateful to Maya for taking care of their lost pet. Maya's story shows us that being good can mean caring for those who can't help themselves, whether they are people or animals. It means using our hearts to guide our actions. Now I want to challenge each of you. Think about one thing you can do today to be good. Maybe you can help your parents with chores, sit with someone who is alone at lunch, or say something nice to your teacher. It doesn't have to be big. Small acts of goodness can create a ripple effect, spreading kindness throughout your school, your community, and even the world. Imagine if everyone in this room did just one good thing every day. How much better would our world be? What if you helped someone and they went on to help someone else? Like a chain reaction of kindness. That's the magic of being good. It grows and spreads, touching more lives than you can imagine. Let's talk about affirmations. Do you know what an affirmation is? It's something you say to yourself to remind you of what's important. I like to use affirmations to help me remember to be good. Here are some you can try. I am kind to others. I help people when I can. I tell the truth. I use my words to make people feel better, not worse. I believe that being good makes the world a happier place. When you wake up in the morning, try saying one of these affirmations to yourself. It can set the tone for your entire day. If you ever feel angry or upset, take a deep breath and remember your affirmation. Ask yourself, how can I be good right now? Sometimes being good means saying sorry when you've made a mistake. We all make mistakes, it's part of being human. But what matters is what we do next. If you hurt someone's feelings, apologize. If you break something, try to fix it. If you see someone in need, offer your help. Being good is about trying your best every day, even when it's hard. I know each of you has the power to be good. You are smart, caring, and strong. You can make a difference just by being yourself. And remember, being good doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It means you try your best and you learn from your mistakes. Let's imagine a world where everyone is trying to be good. There would be less fighting and more helping, less sadness and more smiles, less loneliness and more friendship. We can create that world, starting right here, right now, with each of you. So as you go home today, I want you to remember Alex, Emily, Sam, and Maya. Remember the power you have to change someone's day or even their life just by being good. It all starts with one simple choice. Will you choose to be good? Will you help make the world a better place? Thank you for listening. And remember, every day is a new chance to be good. Let's make the most of it together. Everyone, I want to start today with a simple question. Have you ever picked up a book, opened the first page, and found yourself swept away into a world you never knew existed? Maybe you've traveled with Harry Potter through the halls of Hogwarts, or sailed the seas with Mona, or ridden through the sky on a magic carpet with Aladdin. Books are, in a way, our very own magic carpets. They can take us anywhere at any time. But let me tell you a little secret. I didn't always love reading. In fact, when I was your age, I thought reading was something I had to do, not something I wanted to do. I was more interested in playing outside, building forts, or playing video games. I would look at a big book and think, that looks too hard, too long, and probably boring. One day, everything changed. I remember this day so clearly. It was raining outside. My friends couldn't come over to play. I was bored. My mom handed me a book I'd seen 100 times on the shelf. I frowned. Just give it a try, she said. If you don't like it after the first chapter, you can stop. So I opened that book. The first chapter was about a kid, not much older than me, who didn't fit in at school, who felt lonely sometimes, and who wanted to go on an adventure. I thought, hey, that sounds like me. Before I knew it, I'd read the whole chapter, then the next, and the next. By the time the rain stopped, I'd finished the whole book. And you know what? I didn't want it to end. That was the first time a book truly spoke to me. It made me laugh, made me think, and made me feel like I wasn't alone in the world. It was like finding a friend inside those pages. After that, I started reading more. Each book became a new adventure, a new friend, a new lesson. Why am I telling you this story? Because I want you to know that books are not just words on pages. They are keys to understanding yourself and the world around you. They can give you courage when you're scared, comfort when you're sad, and excitement when you're bored. Let me ask you, have you ever felt nervous about trying something new? Maybe starting a new school or making a new friend? Books can help with that. They can show you how other kids have faced the same problems and found ways to overcome them. Have you ever felt like no one understands you? Trust me, there is a book out there with a character who feels just like you do. And when you find that book, it feels like finding a secret club where you belong. Now I want to share another story. When I was in 5th grade, I had to give a presentation in front of the whole class. I was so scared. My hands were shaking, my heart was pounding. But I remembered a book I had read about a girl who was afraid to speak in front of people. She practiced in front of her mirror just like I did. She stumbled over her words just like I did. But in the end, she found her voice. And so did I. That story gave me the courage to speak up. And I did better than I ever thought I could. Books can be powerful teachers. They can help you learn about faraway places, different cultures, and people who are different from you. Did you know there are books about kids living on the other side of the world, who go to school in boats or ride elephants to get to class? Or books about inventors who failed 100 times before they finally succeeded? Or stories about kids who stood up for what was right, even when it was hard? Every book you read adds to your world. It's like collecting superpowers, one book at a time. The more you read, the stronger you become, not just in your mind, but in your heart. Let me tell you about a time when reading a book gave me the courage to try something I was afraid of. I had always wanted to learn to swim, but I was scared of the water. Then I read a book about a boy who was afraid to swim just like me. He had to practice, take little steps, and trust himself. After reading his story, I decided to try. I got into the water, a little at a time, and soon I was swimming. That book helped me believe in myself. Now I know some of you might be thinking, but reading is hard. Or, I don't know what books to pick. That's okay, everyone starts somewhere. The important thing is to keep trying, to keep looking for stories that speak to you. Ask your teachers, your librarians, your parents, or your friends for suggestions. There are funny books, scary books, adventure books, and books that make you think. There are books with superheroes, talking animals, time machines, and even books that help you make your own comics. Reading isn't just about getting better at school, although it does help with that. It's about discovering what you love, who you are, and who you want to become. It's about using your imagination, growing your dreams, and learning how to face the world with courage and kindness. I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine a world where everyone reads. Imagine a classroom where everyone shares their favorite stories, where everyone has a chance to be the hero of their own story. Imagine a world where, when you feel alone, you can always find a friend in a book. In my life, books have saved me again and again. When I felt sad, they made me laugh. When I felt lost, they showed me the way. When I felt invisible, they made me feel seen. I believe that everyone can find a book that changes their life. Maybe you haven't found yours yet. Maybe you've already found it. But I promise you, there is a story out there waiting for you. And that's why I wrote my own book. I wanted to share my adventures, my fears, my dreams, and my hopes with you. I wrote it for the kid who feels a little different, who wonders if anyone else feels the way they do. I wrote it for the kid who loves to imagine, who likes to laugh, who wants to learn about the world. I wrote it for you. My book is full of stories, some funny, some a little sad, some exciting, and all true. They are stories about trying new things, making mistakes, getting back up, and discovering that you are braver than you think. My hope is that when you read my book, you will see a little bit of yourself in the pages, that you will laugh, think, and maybe even feel inspired to try something new. So I want to give you an affirmation, a promise you can make to yourself. Say it with me. I am a reader, I am brave, I am curious, I am ready for adventure. Let's say it again louder. I am a reader, I am brave, I am curious, I am ready for adventure. Every time you open a book, you are taking a step on a new journey. You are building a stronger, smarter, kinder you, and that is something to be proud of. So kids, read your books. Read my book. Read any book you can find. Fill your mind with stories, your heart with courage, and your life with adventure. The world is waiting for you, and your story is just beginning. Thank you for listening, and happy reading.